the Sports Renegades podcast on SportstownChicago.com.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Sports Renegades here on SportstownChicago.com. I am Ryan Risky.
I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And before we get the show underway, I just want to wish my dad a happy birthday. Today's his birthday. He shares the same birthday as Abe Lincoln, so we're hoping the Bulls can get him a win.
Happy birthday. And yes, hopefully the Bulls will be able to have a nice win to go into All-Star break, because
I didn't realize they were the only game that plays from now until like next Thursday.
Yeah, I think next Thursday or Friday is when the second half starts up after the All-Star break.
They have a long break. NHL, they just had a weekend. They had a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The NBA's almost a week long.
I don't remember the NBA one being as long as it is. I usually thought they would get back on track like on a Wednesday, but they're off for over a week.
Although this is President's Day weekend, isn't it?
Yes.
I
think President's Day is Monday.
Yeah, because I think that the NBA All-Star Weekend is always the President's Day weekend.
Yeah, I think it usually is. So what about the Hawks game last night? Now that they've lost two straight, and you were at the game on Monday.
Oh my! That was something. Yeah, the Hawks game yesterday. I actually didn't watch it because I was watching Arrow. I did see the box score and saw it was disappointing. They lost 5-4 in overtime at home.
Well, they scored 2 goals with under 2 minutes left to tie the game at 4, because the Hawks were down 4-2, and Hossa had the tying goal with like 58 seconds.
Yeah, I saw the end of the game. That was disappointing seeing him lose in overtime. And Hossa's been on a tear. He's scored 2 goals in each of his last 3 games.
Right.
He scored 2 against the Blues. He scored both goals when I went on Monday, and then he scored 2 yesterday.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a really nice job, especially this last week and a half. Hopefully, but he's doing good. But
6 goals his last 3 games, and then before that, he only had 10 on the season.
Yeah, and they're really losing these close, bad games. Like, the game against Arizona was so close, and they ended up
it doesn't get any closer than that.
No, it doesn't. I mean, that's a questionable call, as it was, the no-go call on the ice, which I thought they probably should have called goal at first, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was on the other side where I was sitting because they changed the overtime rules, so teams had the longer shift, so they were going on the other side.
Right.
And the Kane shootout goal was on my side, so that was really nice. And, yeah, it looked like it went in from where we were sitting. And it looked like it went in. The whole stadium started cheering like it went in.
Right.
Play resumed, and then literally seconds after that, Sod hit the goalpost on an open net.
Yes. Yeah, I was watching that. I was so upset.
Yeah, that last 30 seconds of that overtime was unreal because I believe it was I forget who it was on Arizona had a breakaway with 30 seconds left, and Ronta stopped it. And then it looked like the Hawks were just going to let the clock run out. They pass it down the ice. Sod gives it to Shaw, and he blasts it, and then it gets over Mike Smith and almost across the line.
Right.
And when they were showing it on the replay on the scoreboard there, it looked like a goal. It looked like it had completely crossed the line, except that's also pretty far away, and they're not zooming in or anything.
Right. I saw a good view that they showed during the this was after the game was over, but they showed a good replay, and I guess you could sort of see that there was no ice between because there was no white ice between the puck and the line.
Goal line.
So
see, that's the thing.
It was tough to
the thing that
call.
hurt though, had it been called a goal, I don't think it would have been reversed because it was one of those things where you need 100% conclusive evidence to overturn it.
Right.
And that's actually the first time I've been to a hockey game that actually had a goal called back actually I wouldn't even say it was called back. There was a video replay and the play resulted in no goal.
Wow.
The only other time I saw video replay, it confirmed that it was a goal.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, it was really disappointing. I mean, it felt like the place was ready to riot. I mean, it was. I don't know what was louder, the cheering when everyone thought it went in, or all of the screaming and bickering and booing after they called no goal.
Yeah. I mean, the Hawks, they're still a good team, and they're still, I think they're 4th in the West right now.
I mean, I don't really make much of really where their standing is because, they were like 4th last year, and they knocked out St. Louis, who was a higher seed in the first round.
Right.
So, there's really, you can't really just, in hockey, it's just like, there's really not much separating the good team, like not much that separates how good the good teams are from one another. There's not even too much that separates the good teams from the bad teams because the bad teams can outbeat the good teams on any given day. It's not like the NBA where it's like where if a team like let's see who's a really bad team in the NBA this year?
Sacramento.
If you put Sacramento and they go and beat Golden State, it's like one of the biggest things that'll be talked about. Where if you have a team like Florida or Buffalo that goes and beats the Blackhawks or the Penguins or the Anaheim Ducks, it's not as big of a deal.
True.
Granted, you don't want that to happen, except it's not like as big of an upset because there's not as much that separates the good and the bad teams in the NHL as there is. There's a major difference in the NBA, and a lot of that's probably contributed through the fact that NHL teams have more players, and your best players are playing maybe 15 to 20 minutes at the most in a 60-minute game, where the NBA your best players are playing in between 35 and 45 minutes and 48-minute games.
Right. I'm not too worried about the Hawks at this point. I understand that they're in a bit of a rut these last couple games, but they play New Jersey Friday, the Pittsburgh Penguins on Sunday, which I'm actually going to that game.
That's going to be a really good game
on Sunday. I'm hoping they don't lose because I know the Penguins are a pretty good team, so it'll be a close game.
Really good with Sidney Crosby, Evenhy Malkin, and their goalie Marc-Andre Fleury actually leads the NHL in shutouts with like 8 or 9.
Right, and then I think the Hawks play the following Tuesday or Wednesday, so they got a lot of home games coming up. I think it was an 8-game homestand is what they're on right now.
Yeah, they were on a long road trip before that. One of the games when I was debating on what to go to, it was actually the Pittsburgh game was one I would have wanted to go to, except this Arizona game was host of bobblehead day, and the good promotion kind of good. I went for the good promotion instead.
Unfortunately, the game on Sunday I'm going to, it's a toothbrush holder is the giveaway, so I'm excited about that.
Toothbrush holder, I'm sure.
Now my toothbrush has a home. So
I'm sure that's just what you want.
That's exactly what I want. I think Friday the thing was like a hat.
No, you just missed something.
Not a winter hat, but just like a
ball cap.
Yeah, I think it was like a ball cap hat. So something like that. But
those are always nice promotions. Yeah, I the fact that there's toothbrush holder actually had nothing to do with the decision. I like the bobblehead, so it's just like I would have liked to see Pittsburgh though, because that's always because they only play at the UC once a year.
And out of all Hawks games I've been to, I think I've been to 5 or 6. I've never seen them lose, so I'm hoping that I can find that streak can continue on Sunday when I go. The game starts at 11:30, so it's one of those NBC ones.
Yeah, it's an NBC one. Yeah, of all the Hawks games that I've been to, I've been going since 2010 to a couple games every year, and I've only seen them lose in regulation once or twice.
Right. I've never seen them lose, so I'm pretty lucky. Although I've been to less games.
I've seen them lose if they lose in a shootout or overtime, I just count that as a tie. Because they got a point.
Right.
I don't count that
as long as you get a point out of it. It's sort of a win in a way.
Yeah, the one loss I can really remember is the year after they won the Stanley Cup in 2010. It was the final game of the season against Detroit, and it was if they win, they're in the playoffs, and if they lose, or if they get a point, they're in the playoffs.
Right.
If they lose, they have to wait to see if Dallas beats Minnesota later that day.
That was in 2011, right?
Yeah.
I remember that.
They lost 4-3, except they were down 4-1 in the third period, and they scored twice. And then they pulled Crawford for the extra attacker, and then with like the last 10 seconds of the game, someone was right in front of the net, and then he missed the shot.
Oh,
literally point blank in front of the net, and he missed the shot, and then the buzzer sounded.
I remember that. I definitely remember it going down to the final game of the regular season. So.
Yeah, I remember Kane passed it to I forget. I don't even remember who it was. Kane passed it to someone right in front of the net, and he missed. Actually, I don't even think he got a shot off. I think he missed the puck.
That's a shame.
Yeah, Dallas ended up losing later that day, so they got into the playoffs.
Is that when they played the
Wild.
Coyotes or
No,
the Wild?
Oh, the Hawks played the Coyotes in the first round of the playoffs.
Right, yeah.
Oh, wait, no. They played Vancouver that year in the playoffs.
Oh, is that when Vancouver beat them in Game 7?
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah.
Game 7 overtime after Vancouver was up 3 games to none.
I was really mad about that.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, I thought they had it, and then Campoli turns the puck over in front of the net, and then Burrows buries one off past the stick side of Crawford.
Right. So yeah, I think this is going to be my. I think this Hawks game on Sunday is my 6th Hawks game, something like that.
Where are you sitting at?
It's the 300 level. It's I think section 314, row 1. So those are good.
Is that like? I mean, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the section. Is that like behind a goal or kind of like in the center?
It's on the. It's a section next to the box where all the. It's like center, but it's sort of on an angle.
Okay, so you're kind of like sort of in a corner.
Sort of in a corner, but more towards the center than like actual corner,
okay,
I think.
So probably somewhere in between the goal and the blue line.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of it.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty. I mean, there's really no bad seats for hockey because that rink is so big, and really the higher up you are, the better. Because if you're I sat in the 100 level one time. And we were on one side of the goal, and because like you're not that high up, you couldn't really see the other end of the ice. So I mean, it's nice when you're elevated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
hockey.
thinking 200 and 300 level are a little bit of a better view,
and probably cheaper than the 100 level. Those are probably $500 a ticket.
Yeah,
or you could probably get those maybe 100 a ticket, and 100 maybe the bad seats at the 100 or 500. I mean, because also if you have to be at least 10 rows behind the glass in order to be able to see above the fog that gets on the glass.
That's true.
So that was and they play New Jersey tomorrow.
Yes, they play New Jersey tomorrow.
I read
hopefully they can win against New Jersey and then have a hard-fought victory against the Penguins.
Yeah, I read that Corey Schneider is going to be in net for New Jersey.
Okay, yeah, so we'll have to watch that because I think that's the only Chicago sport on tomorrow because the Bulls will be off and there's usually not college basketball on Friday nights. So yeah, we'll be watching the Hawks intently.
Yeah, actually, I don't even think I'll be able to watch it because I'm going to St. Louis this weekend for with the NIU hockey because the playoffs are starting and the tournament's in St. Louis, so I'll be gone all weekend. I think I have to leave it. I have to meet my partner at 12:45 at the ice rink that NIU plays at, and then we have to drive down to NIU and take the team bus down to St. Louis.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, I don't even think I'll be able to watch it because I don't even know what time the game starts. It's probably a night game. So, anyways, we'll be right back here. Sports Renegades, SportsTownChicago.com.
The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.